Today we are going to be reviewing another Stone offering. I mean, you can't review enough of these things. And my personal opinion, this is the Enjoy By for February 15th, 2013. This is a double IPA, over 9% ABV, with tons of hops, 11 different hop varieties in it. And the really interesting thing about the Enjoy By series is that Stone, right up front, just slathers all over this series of beers when you're supposed to drink it by. They don't want you storing it. They don't want you cellaring it. They want you to get into it, get around it, and drink it as soon as possible. Is this really awesome double IPA? Is their rush to get it into your hot little hands worth the time, the effort, and the money on your part to purchase these beers? So we got the usual cast of characters with us tonight. We're going to go into a couple of different reviews. So who's up for our pour shots tonight, folks?
Our good friend Eric McGee says that IPAs must be poured ultra slow. So we'll try to get an ultra slow pour here. And all right, here we go.
Is that the pumpkin glass?
This is my only snifter.
That's a beautiful beer.
But yes, this is the pumpkin glass.
I don't know if you meant that slow though.
No, like it's like I did this during a hangout with him once, and he was like, "Nope, too fast." Well,
oh my God!
Are you supposed to be pouring it so slow that evaporative loss becomes a consideration?
Right.
I mean,
how are you gonna get 2 inches of head in this thing?
It's gonna be expired before he gets it into the glass.
All right, because y'all are complaining, we'll get a little bit of speed on
Oh, that's too fast. You just ruined the beer.
You know, whatever.
That's what she said.
Get
Nice.
Get it up there and
All
get
right.
it into focus for us, Marcus.
Yeah, and then, man, this thing is like super clear. I mean, there's no chill haze in this. I've got some good nucleation here. Man, that is cool looking. Like looking through this glass of this beer, it is
Beautiful.
pretty.
So I'm not sure what all the different varieties of hops that are used in making this, but I'm getting like a piney grapefruit slap in the face. I mean, like a really nice slap in the face, though.
Well, since you almost kind of sort of asked, it's Calypso, Super Galena, Simcoe, Delta, Target, Amarillo, Motueka, Citra, Cascade, New Zealand, Nelson Sauvin, and Australian Galaxy.
So just about every hop they could get their hand on, apparently.
I didn't see Fuggles in the list, but that's about the only one I didn't recognize in there. So
I get some peach in it. I wonder what gets this peachy.
No, when he said grapefruit, that's what I smell now.
Maybe that's
Overpowering.
what it is.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like a resiny, kind of garlicky grapefruit rind.
Yeah,
Like
piney.
Yeah, I definitely get pine.
me too.
It's definitely grassy. It's almost like a orange zest aroma as well. But it definitely has that pine, resiny, garlicky aroma too. But like everybody else has said, it's the grapefruit's really kind of in that citrus fruit. It's really what I get right up front.
I'd say the citrus is definitely the predominant nose on it more than anything.
Maybe I would go far, say more like tropical kind of fruit.
It smells like a cheap fruit salad.
Well, I mean, and to me, as it warms up a little bit, I still, as much as I do get that grapefruit, I really do get a lot of that garlicky aroma. I don't know if anybody else is picking up any of that.
Anybody else picking up cloves
No, I haven't.
of garlic?
More along the lines of the grapefruit.
Like
But
a sweet, like a bittersweet ruby red
Right.
grapefruit.
I don't know. I get peaches.
Yeah, I was looking at the appearance. It's really pretty.
Gil, I can kind of agree with you. I think I do pick up a little bit of a peach,
You know,
almost
every
like
time
a
you guys-
not quite ripe peach.
I'd say that it's interesting that Gil said earlier that he was getting some garlic, because when I taste it, I get like a combination. Initially, the aroma was pine and grapefruit, but then when I taste it, the taste is almost pine and garlic, and like it was said earlier, it's on the back end is really dry. Like on the back and on the sides of my tongue, I can get that bitterness that good IPAs are known for, especially like something like a Sierra Nevada that it's really, really hoppy and they get you right there on the back. And I can get that from here. And but it's in a good way. But
it's important to point out for the people watching that are new into drinking craft beers that it might sound weird what you're saying about garlic, but it's in a good way. It's well balanced. The whole taste kind of comes together in the end, and the dryness and the bitterness it's really well put together.
Would bet good money that there's no actual garlic in this brew. When you're talking about wines, beers, or spirits, the way that you identify the tastes is by associating what you're tasting or what you're smelling with other tastes or other aromas that you have from your other life experiences. And there could very well be compounds that are highly reminiscent of garlic. If you've ever heard of anybody talking about a skunked beer, the skunk's not been anywhere near that beer, but there are compounds within that beer that resemble skunk odor compounds quite heavily. So garlic, it's very valid. If that's what the aromas and the flavors of this beer remind you of, nobody can tell you any different. Marcus, what about you? What are you picking up on the flavor profile?
The bitterness of the IPA does not come on the front. It's definitely on the end. Finish is very dry. The hops aren't near as strong to the taste as they are on the nose. And I wasn't quite expecting that. I was expecting to get slammed on the mouth, in the nose, in the gut with just hops. Nothing but hops. But there's definitely a lot more to this than the hops. And
took a sip of this an hour ago. It was really the hop taste was a lot more pungent, a lot more strong then, and as it's warmed up, seems to be more malty, sweet.
I'm getting a different taste completely out of these things. I'm not getting the bitterness that I expect with the hops, but for me it's just a sour, astringent kind of thing.
I wonder if that is a factor of all the blending, of the fact that they have 12 different hops in here. I wonder if they focused on one, if that power of the hops would come through a little stronger in nose and taste.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, take it away, Randy Gardner Jr.
So typically for me, I kind of divide beers into seasons of the year. In the wintertime, I look at obviously stouts and porters and also like quads, right? And then in the summertime, you want something that's going to be a little more refreshing. I see this beer as being like a springtime beer. It's not hot outside, but it's like that first opportunity to break out the grill. I'm going to give this probably like a strong 8.5, 9, because it's complex, but yet it's very drinkable.
I'm probably on the other end of this. I tended to think of it, overall compared to all the other beer styles, I'm more of a downer on it. I think I would have given it a 6.5. As for strong double IPA, American double IPA, I'd bump that up to a 7. I think it's a little bit astringent in the end and sour, and it doesn't really come through as a true IPA, strong American IPA that way. I think it kind of lets us down a little bit.
All right, who else? Gil, what do you have?
I will give a 7.5 fish. I also think that this is maybe the wrong time of the year for this beer.
What would you think is the right time of year? More spring?
I also think more spring beer. I also think it's a spring beer. I will do a 7.5. I think it's a very good beer, a well-balanced beer. You should get your hands on it if you can, but I would not rule number one. So I would say 7.5. Very good beer, not anything out of this world, but well-balanced.
Well, I have to say that I've drank almost the whole bomber of this thing here now, and the Simcoe or the whatever the strong ammonia hops is is really impacting my taste on this. I know I'm unusual in a lot of ways, and this one is no different. So I've got to give this thing. I'm going to go. Maybe it's better than other double IPAs that I've had. It's not as strong as some that I've had. So I'm going to say 6 on this.
And Matthew, the phrase you're looking to describe yourself is differently abled. Differently
abled. I'm not disabled. I'm just
differently able.
You're special.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we're done kicking me in the balls, how about somebody else?
For me, I'm a little impartial to this beer. I don't know if you were to ask me this today versus tomorrow versus the next day, my opinion or my number ranking for this beer could be different, because normally for when it comes to double IPAs, I like those, punching the mouth, hoppy beers from the aroma to the taste through the finish. But for me, for this beer, it kind of started out that way, but then didn't finish that way. You kind of got that sweeter side. And like going into tonight, I was kind of wanting that, really hop forward, hop finished beer. Right. With that said, I think I would probably, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say a 7, maybe a 7.5.
Chris, take it away, my friend.
So I'm going to call out some of the previous reviewers on their overall and say there is no such thing as a bad time for a good beer. This whole "it's in the wrong season" thing is utter crap. And I think there's going to be a lot that would agree with that, simply by the fact that there was a 12/21 and now a 2/15. So that, this alone proves that you can have a hoppy IPA at any time of the year. With that said, I would rate this beer a 9.93 because there's no such thing as a perfect score in the Olympics. And this is an Olympic review. It's super hoppy with the complexity that you would expect out of a great beer. It is not one-dimensional in the least, and it offers a lot of great things that I think some folks have kind of skipped over. So, a solid 9.93.
All right, folks, so thank you for watching. This concludes our review of Stone Brewing's 2-15-13, their double IPA that is highly regional and highly time-sensitive. If you get an opportunity to get some in your area, we do recommend it overall, but keep in mind that the reviews for this beer did run the gamut, everything from the best double IPA that I've ever had, all the way to pretty much the only thing I'm getting is ammonia. So depending upon which one of our reviewers you're talking to, this is either really, really good or, yeah, it's a damn drinkable beer. I don't think anybody didn't like it. I think that we would all probably, most of us would think about buying this again once or twice. Some of us would make this a session beer, some of us wouldn't. So take that as you will. At any rate, in a couple of weeks, we'll be back with another review. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to join us on the Craft Beer Nation community on Google+. Take care, everyone.